Hello Flosstube, my name is Claire and this is Flosstube video number 7. It's been probably about 5 or 6 weeks since Flosstube number 6 happened for me, and so much for my wanting to do it a little bit more often. It didn't really happen. We went away on holiday, lots of people have been sick, and my back has been very, very, very painful indeed. So I haven't really done much that I absolutely didn't have to in the last few weeks. I've had an MRI on it and I'm seeing a back specialist at the hospital next week to find out the results of that. So hopefully they'll be able to do something that stops me just not moving very much. However, that does mean that I've had more stitching time. So, you know, every cloud has a silver lining. Now, that does, however, mean that I have worked on loads of stuff. I've got a massive pile here of stuff to show you. And so I've had to kind of weed out the things that I haven't really made that much progress on, because I was like, well, I could show you, but the list is so long anyway that I'm just not going to bother. So hopefully the lighting's all right. It's middle of the day in England at the moment, and we've got that kind of low winter sunshine streaming through the bedroom windows. So I've had to kind of draw the curtains a bit, so hopefully it's not too dark and the colours show up okay. So let's get to it. What have I been working on in the last few weeks? I have been working on primarily my focus piece, which is Celestial Companions. This beauty here. And this is how far I've got. See what you can see there? When I get to the end of this row, I shall take him off the scroll frames and give you a full update on what he's looking like so far, because there's quite a lot scrolled away there. Yeah, there's my back. Yeah. Now my plan is to finish this page and this bitty page here by the end of the year, and then I decided not to push myself, because I was beginning to feel a little bit like I've got to work on this, I've got to work on this, I can't work on anything that I really want to work on, I've got to work on this. So I was like, oh well, if it works out that way, then great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And as soon as I took that pressure off myself, I found that I wanted to work on it again. So I correct myself up sometimes. Now you can see here where the squares from the first Heaven and Earth Designs challenge were at the beginning of the year, and I'm beginning to fill those in, and I can you see? I can totally see where the squares were after I've filled in around them. I hate that. This is why I don't work in blocks or grids or columns. I hate those lines. And I'm hoping, I mean, I'm pulling the fabric now to try it. I'm hoping that they will come out. But I really don't like that. So I won't be doing that again. I'm a cross-country stitcher. So anyway, that is my Celestial Companions. Another piece that I've been spending a lot of time on at the moment is the Lakeside Needlecraft Fantasy Stitch Along. And this is where I've done a few little bits that I've scrolled away a bit of the border, but not much. So I'm working on, where is he? There. She, I should say. My 6-year-old daughter, who this is for, has named all of these. So this is Penny Pegasus, and this is Miranda the Witch, and Charlotte the Spider from Charlotte's Web, which is cute. And this is Flash the Goblin. And apparently it's a female. So, okay. So I'm working on that. I'm still behind. I still haven't done the September Wizard up here. So when I finish Flash, then that's what I'll move on to. So Flash will look like that. I'm really enjoying this. But I don't think I'm going to sign up to the Under the Sea stitch along that Lakeside Needlecraft have got planned for next year. just because I've got lots going on, and I think I'm just going to wait and see how that one pans out before I decide to jump in or not. The other thing that I've been working on quite a bit is Lizzie Cake Spooked, which I am loving. I love everything about this project. Really enjoying it. So I've done part 1. This is part 2. And then there will be part 3 over here. So I'm enjoying that one. So that was most of the whips that I've been working on, like, solidly. And then there's been a few others as well, of course. A couple of starts have happened. The first one I told you about in my last video, which was the Ship's Manor Beautiful Sea Quaker Stitch Along. It's a bit of a mouthful. And it's released every 2 weeks, and I've done 3 parts of it so far, which tells you how long it's been since my last video. But here is what it looks like so far. So if I can, part 1 was this bit, part 2 was this bit, and part 3 was this bit. And I'm using the threads that are supplied by Ship's Manor. So Eric from Ship's Manor has dyed them, and they are gorgeous. Really, really lovely. I'm enjoying working with those. And because they are variegated, I haven't been finishing off the motifs where they are just kind of only a part motif, as you can see. I haven't been finishing off my threads because I didn't want to lose the variation of where they are. It'll look a bit kind of stop-starty, so I'm just parked them to one side so that I can carry on with that when I get the next part. But this is looking beautiful, and I've chosen, I did a kind of a floss toss, hi Adele, onto various fabrics to see what would make it pop, because I thought I was going to do it on a lovely yellow sparkly one that I've got, but when I put all the threads onto the fabric, they just got lost, so I chose this instead. This is sage green, I think it's 16 count Ada, so that's that. I'm enjoying that one. And the other start, I totally blame Sarah Shears. She's got a Flosstube channel called Sarah Stitches, and she's brilliant. You must watch her. But she has started the Ink Circles Big Red Ship of Life, and so have a few others. Like Mumula is doing it, and I think Tracy P started it, and a few others as well. And I commented on it, and she says, "Go on, you know you want to." And I was like, okay. So the Big Red Ship of Life by Ink Circles, and it is gorgeous. It's all, everyone's doing, I think Emily P from Eclectic Possessions is doing this in blue, if I'm right. I could be wrong. My brain's a little bit fried today, but that's ringing a bell. But it is beautiful. I love Ink Circles designs. And not got particularly far, but that's my little start. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the border and the ship itself in the kind of dark red, and all the little motifs are going to be done in the kind of lighter red, just to make it a little bit different, add my own little design to it. So there you go. Find us on Instagram, hashtag BigRedSal. And then I moved on to the election stitch along from Stitch Mania, where every day in the couple of weeks leading up to the election there was a theme that you could base your stitching around. And so I did most of them. I kind of ran out of steam about 4 before the end, because that was a weekend where I went away, and so it just didn't happen. But up until then I was doing pretty well. Now I've got to change notebooks because this one's in this notebook. So on the 25th of October, it was Stitch on Something for Red States. I stitched on Big Red Ship. There you go, that was easy. 26th was Build a Wall. And so I stitched on my Above the Clouds by Teresa Wentzler, and that's this one here. And I started it just a couple of months ago actually, so I've hardly done any progress at all. And I'm looking at it now, I'm going, which way up is it? I think it's this way. So it's literally just a bit of the castle wall. Not much. But I did a little bit. It was a wall. 27th was Blue States. And I did my stitching on Bubble Fairy Cat Face from Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is where I am on her. I'm doing her on 1/1 on 28 count. I keep forgetting to tell you what fabric I'm doing everything on. I'm doing Big Red on 1/1 on 28 count as well. Because it's huge. So that is gorgeous. I do want to get back to this. I love it. Sadie Ruin is doing it as well on her channel, Yarnivore. And she is brilliant. I love watching her. Okay, what's next? On the 28th, I'm going to read this. The first female major party candidate. So stitch on something with a woman in it. So I chose Nora Corbett's Trick or Treat. And there she is. I started on the owl, and I've started doing the 1/1 skin as well. Oh, by the way, you will have been seeing random needle minders pop up. There's a needle minder. My very first needle minders. I'll tell you more about those when I come to the haul. But look, needle minders. Oh, there we go. There. Nice. Then there was, where are we? On the 30th of October, Make Whips Great Again. And I had to pull out my my oldest standing whip, which is the Spanish Hill Town by Michael Powell, which reminds me of where I lived in Ecuador. And I love it. I do want to finish it. It's been a very long time. And most of it is scrolled away in here. But that's where I am. And that is all the way down here. So I've done all this. I just literally got to do that bridge and the bottom trees. And then go and back stitch the whole lot. But one of my goals for 2017 is to get this done. Get this finished and out of the way. I'm going to do that. The next one was on the 31st, D for Democrat. Stitch on something to do with the letter D. Dragon. Me, it's got to be. The Guardian, which I've shown before. Another beautiful dragon needle minder here. And I did some more. You can see, I don't know if you can see the sparkle. I added some Krynic into the dragon. He's coming along. He's another one I want to spend more time on. I'll come to that. The next one, we're moving into November. November the 1st, primary elections. The one that you've got the least progress on. Probably quite a number of my mania starts would apply. But this wasn't a mania start. This was a start for October, which I'd done in another group, which was You Were Hatched by Teresa Wentzler. Another dragon. And Mummy talking to her baby dragon, telling her where he came from. And that's as far as I've got, which is just a bit of the mum's head and looping around her neck there. Love Teresa Wentzler dragons. Stunning. The 2nd of November was R for Republican, something to do with the letter R. And I picked Ray from Heaven and Earth Designs. She's a rather sexy, feisty mermaid by Hannah Disney. Love her. And that's as far as I've got. She was a New Year start for this year. And as you can see, I haven't got that far in her, but she is very pretty. Love the bright colours. November the 3rd was campaign signs. So something to do with a sign or a plaque or a banner or something. I did You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine. which I'm doing for my younger daughter. And I did most of the U. Got that one done. It's bright. It's a good one to cheer you up when you're feeling a bit gloomy, that one. And then the last one that I did was on November the 4th, which was I for Independent States. So stitch on something to do with the letter I. I chose Ink Circles Little Alien Schoolgirl. And I just love this. It's gorgeous. And the more you look at it, the more there is to see. And the more amusing it all is. Now, yeah, it's wonky on the frame. I know this. We've had this off the frame about 3 times. My husband has helped me put it back on the frame 3 times. And it's all straight. And then because, and it's my own fault, when I bought the piece, it was a pre-cut piece. And when I normally buy pieces that I know that I'm going to put on a scroll frame, I make sure that they have like 6 inches at the top and 6 inches at the bottom. Instead of just a normal 3 inches border, because that gives me enough space to wind it round and make it nice and taut and good for stitching. And that didn't happen with this piece. It just had the 3 inches. And so the way I attach my pieces onto scroll frames is with masking tape, but there wasn't enough room to completely wind the fabric in before I reached the top, and so it just keeps slipping and coming off because there just isn't enough fabric. So I'm decided to just live with it for now. I'm really loving the colours in this. Absolutely beautiful. It's got rockets and mandala here, and a sandworm all the way across the top, which was fun to do. And I'm just going to do the top row and then redo it again, because by that point I'll be able to wind it back up a lot more. I do love the Ink Circles. Tracy Horner from Ink Circles. She's a genius for design and she's got a wicked sense of humour. And that's it. That's all that I've been working on. I've done like a day or 2 on a couple of other pieces, but really the progress is so minimal and this list is so long that I thought enough is enough. So we're going to move on to haul, because it's been a few weeks and I've had some. Yay! Firstly, needle minders. All the needle minders that you've seen, plus this is my first one that I love. This is the one that got me addicted to needle minders, and he normally lives on Big Red Ship of Life, but he moves around sometimes as well. And all of these needle minders are from the Needle Keep Emporium, run by my friend Catherine up in Scotland, and she's brilliant and they're really affordable. And if you want to look her up on Facebook, she has a Facebook page where she posts different ones available, and she's also on Etsy as Needle Keep Emporium, and look her up. And I love this one, and this one also travels around onto different whips, whatever I'm working on. Love it. My daughter loves this one as well. And this one is going to go on my Ex Machina. Very steampunky. And then there's other ones been around, dragons and butterflies and things which are sparkly, which are lovely. So I've had those. Yes, I have drunk the Kool-Aid and I've started a needle minder collection. My husband is like, but surely you only, if you need one, you only need one. You don't need any more than one. And I was like, well, they're pretty. So yeah, got those. Now, got this off eBay. Not at that price, I have to say. Dragon Citadel. Now, I knew that it's a printed cross stitch, which means that the fabric is printed and you cross stitch over the top of it. But I don't know what I think about this. Let me show you. This is the fabric. It's quite large. And the only cross stitching that you have to do is on bits of the dragon. none of the background, and not even all of the dragon, just some of it. Now, I love dragons, and this is awesome, and I know that the artwork, but I don't know if I want to leave so much background as just printed fabric like this. I'm unconvinced. But I have got it. I've got the thread. I don't know. I think I might have a go at some point next year and have a look and see what it looks like. Because it would be a real shame to not do it. But, sorry about the glare. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe just printed cross stitches aren't for me. But I did get that quite cheap, so I thought I'd have a go. Let me have a look. Oh my goodness. I went to the charity shop down our high street because one of my friends volunteers there, and she said, "We've just had some stitching stuff in, come and check it out." Okay. Well, apparently if they don't sell the kind of niche craft stuff within 2 weeks, they bin it. And so they just had all this stuff in. It was in a basket on the shelf, and I was very aware that what was there was not going to last forever, and I could not bear the thought of some of these things going in the bin. Couldn't do it. So I got most of it. I think there was very, very little that I left, and I've kind of left most of it in this bag just so I can show you. Okay, Teresa Wensler charts. Teresa Wensler, hello. 10p each. 10 pence. So I got this one, which I don't have, which is the English Garden Sampler. I don't have that. And that actually came with the 28 count even weave that I have used for the Big Red Ship of Life. 10p! Come on, people. This is 10p. This is not Teresa Wensler. A nice floral alphabet. I won't stitch this, but I couldn't leave it there for 10p. So I'll kind of pass it forward, give away something around. The Fantasy Sampler, which is, you can see the bottom of, up there. So I've done it. I've already got it. But 10p. I couldn't let it be thrown away. So I bought that. Castle Sampler, which I finished in December, so I've got this one as well. 10p. The castle, which is up there. 10p. Father Winter, which I also have. I've not stitched it though. Stony Creek, kind of Christmas stuff. I probably won't stitch anything in this either, although that's a cute snowman. But I couldn't leave it there. Couldn't do it. So I'm planning on a bit of a giveaway at some point, or I'm part of a Pass It Forward group on Facebook, so stick them in there. Then there are off bits of fabric, that's Blackadder. All of these were like 30p, 50p each. And this one, I love this one. This one is brown. Let's check it out. But it's kind of a mottled brown. And it's 18 count Ada, and it's the perfect size for Gathering Eggs Mirabilia, which I got on eBay a few months ago, and I'm planning on stitching this in the spring. And I was wondering what to stitch it on, and it's only dinky. It's a tiny chart actually. This is like one of the smallest Mirabilias I think that there must be out there, because the whole thing, excuse me, fits on this with the border. So it was perfect for it. I was like, got it for 50p. Love it when you get fabric for 50p, because usually that's pretty pricey. A kit, oh, it's all stuck together. Mary Hickmott Designs, I'm not into that, but this kit was £1.50 and it's got all this thread in it. So I thought, if I don't use that, I can use the threads or pass it on to someone. Then there was this big bag of threads for £1.50, and I don't know if you can see, but this lot are all silk. Unnamed silk. And that's all silk as well. Unnamed silk, but silk. So I can use that. And that's just normal thread, normal floss. For £1.50. And then there was a John Clayton collection kit for £1. Did it have the fabric and I've taken it out in it? I can't remember. It might not have had the fabric. Not going to complain. And then this chart only of another John Clayton was 20p. Hello! So I was like, I'll have this and this and this and this and this. So I had it all. Could not leave it there. I just couldn't leave it there. So even though I've doubled up on patterns that I already own, I was like, I'm not going to risk them being binned. No way. Somebody will want them. Somebody will love them. So when I hit a certain number of subscribers or whatever, then I'll be giving stuff away. Then I went to the Hobbycraft show in Birmingham NEC, which is a big exhibition centre in the centre of England. I go twice a year. I go up from London, and my mum and my best friend from home come down from Derbyshire. We meet in the middle. And so I just bought 3 charts there, which was this Lizzie Cake, Promise Me. This one, which is Think Deeply, Speak Gently, Love Much, Laugh Often, Work Hard, Give Freely, Be Kind. Which is really nice. And I got the Blackbird Designs Octopus's Garden. Now I've got a thing for octopuses at the moment. And then lastly is a few highlights of my eBay haul from the last few weeks. One is this dragons booklet, and I don't really like these dragons too much. I'm not overly fond, but these I really like. Just these heads, and they look really good on black, so I might do those on black. And then the letter A by Nora Corbett, her fairy letters. That was only a couple of pounds, so I was like, oh, I'll have that. Lizzie Cake Pilgrims. That was in, I bought a massive bundle of charts for £1 plus postage, just to get this design. And there were loads of charts in it, but again, most of them, excuse me, most of them I don't want, so I'll be using those for giveaways and stuff as well. And then this baby, Queen Mermaid. And I've been putting bid after bid after bid in. Did I show you this last time? I can't remember when it came in. I can't remember when I got it. I've already showed you, I'm so sorry. But I usually put in a bid for about a tenner, and it goes higher and higher and higher because this is obviously out of print. But I put my usual bid in for a tenner, and I got it. Nobody else bid for it. So don't you just love it when that happens? I honestly can't remember if I've already showed you that one. I should watch my own videos back, shouldn't I? Or make notes. And then this I already had in my stash, but I'm showing you this one because I'm going to be starting this one for a stitch along called 10 a day next year, starting on the 1st of January, and the idea is to put 10 stitches in every day in 2017. So there's a Facebook group called 10 a day Sal, look it up. And the idea is to find a chart that is as close to 3,650 stitches as you can, to see if you can get most of it done next year, just doing 10 stitches a day. So that's mine, just Nan, somewhere in the square. So I just thought I'd tell you that. Rest of plans, I'm keeping an eye on the time, I'm coming up to half an hour, so I'm just going to whiz through because this cuts me off at about 32 minutes. I've discovered lately that although I've really enjoyed all year having stitch alongs to follow in the groups, I've had my rotation, I've known exactly what I'm going to be stitching, bang 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 bang, and I've loved it. and it's kept me motivated. But lately I'm kind of fighting against it, and I'm thinking if I should stitch on it, then I don't want to. So I've released myself from all stitch along obligations and rotation obligations, and I'm floating free for a little while and just picking up what is calling to me and working on that. And so far that seems to be working well. I'm kind of remembering why I had a rotation in the first place, because everything is calling to me, which helps to then stick it in a rotation, because you know when you're going to get to it. But at the moment I'm just pulling things out and stitching on them as and when, and I'm just going to do that for a little while until that drives me crazy, and then I will get back into some kind of organised routine. But it's quite nice to be, you know, free and just free and easy. It's cool. I think that is everything, just as I've clicked over into half an hour. So I'm going to say a goodbye. Thank you so much to all my subscribers. Thank you for all the comments. I love reading everything that everyone is saying, and hopefully I'll be back before too long. Take care and happy stitching.